This video is an overview of the iTunes training course, which is 10 videos and I think 68 minutes of training. So a fair amount of training on iTunes. There is a lot to cover. So as I scroll down here, the 10 videos are split across 2 pages, 6 on this page. If you move right here, you can go to page 2 where the other 4 videos are located. So we start off with an intro just to iTunes and its user interface. For most people, iTunes is the user interface is fairly straightforward, but there's definitely a few things in here you're going to want to check out. Little tiny buttons, especially that are embedded all over iTunes, that actually have some pretty neat functions. Then we get into how to import or transfer music from a drive to iTunes. So what I mean by that is that if you have music stored on another computer, if you have it on an external hard drive, even if you have it on an older iPod, you can import that music and get it up into iTunes. And also with video number 3, how to rip music from your CDs to iTunes. So if you have CDs, you want to get them into iTunes into a digital format so that you can then push those songs and music and that music out to your devices such as an iPhone or iPad or others. And then iTunes Match, which is new in 2012, or actually late 2011 from Apple, will help you consolidate all that, but that we don't get into that on this training course. Then as you've got your music in iTunes, we get into how to edit a song's meta information. Meta information essentially means it's data. So the reason you want to do this is to set things like if you've got older songs that came in off of CDs and the volume levels are very low, maybe you want to amp those volume levels up. Maybe you want to make sure that you've entered things like albums and years and artists correctly so that you can make better playlists. And speaking of playlists, that's what the next 2 videos cover, is really how to create regular playlists, smart playlists, and then what are called genius playlists or genius mixes within iTunes. So you can create all different types of playlists to match a mood or something like that, or party music or dance music or chill out music or what have you. And then of course sync that out to devices. On the second page then is the last 4 videos within the iTunes course. If I scroll down here, you've got an overview of the iTunes store and how to shop and buy and download there, along with some tips that are inside the iTunes store. They're always adding little new features and whatnot to the store, but also how to really manage and set up an account so that you can manage your account correctly, authorize it across other Macs so that other Macs have access to things that you buy within your store. And then the last 3 videos are really all about synchronizing iTunes with iPods, iPhones, iPads. So it starts out with if you have media on one of those devices that you've purchased and you want to transfer it on, which is really about the only thing you can do, is to transfer music to an iTunes that you've purchased, unless it's an older iPod. An iPod, a regular iPod or an iPod Classic, can really be used kind of like a hard drive, where you can drop music onto it, pull music up off of it. And then the last 2 are really then all about synchronizing from the iPad, or I'm sorry, to an iPad or iPhone from iTunes, and then automatically setting up syncs so that you don't have to go in and manually drag and drop things around. You can set up things like playlists or automate the way that when I connect an iPhone or iPad to my Mac, the synchronization process just takes place, and I have it kind of set up and tell it how I like that synchronization process to take place. There's a lot of advantages to that, but a lot of things that you actually just want to learn and figure out if that works for you. So that's the iTunes course. Lots of training, but provide feedback for me about this course. Let me know how you like it, and I hope that you enjoy it. Thanks.